George Washington Carver is remembered as one of the most remarkable figures in the history of American agriculture, not only for his groundbreaking scientific discoveries, but for his unwavering commitment to improving the lives of others. His achievements span a wide range of fields, revolutionizing farming, industry, and the way people thought about natural resources. But it wasn't just the depth of his knowledge that made Carver exceptional. It was his ability to apply that knowledge in ways that transformed the world. One of Carver's most influential contributions was his pioneering work in soil conservation, particularly in the face of the devastating effects of cotton farming in the South. For generations, Southern farmers relied heavily on cotton, growing it year after year without any consideration for the long-term impact on the land. The soil became depleted, losing its nutrients and rendering it less and less fertile. Cotton, a crop that was already struggling in the poor soil, continued to be planted until the earth could no longer sustain it. But George Washington Carver saw an opportunity in this problem. He realized that crop rotation, alternating cotton with other crops, could be the key to restoring the soil's health. Carver introduced farmers to the concept of growing peanuts, sweet potatoes, and legumes, which are capable of fixing nitrogen in the soil. Nitrogen is a vital nutrient for plants, and by planting crops that restore it, farmers could replenish the soil and allow it to thrive once again. This discovery revolutionized Southern agriculture, offering a sustainable solution to an issue that had plagued farmers for generations. But Carver's genius didn't stop there. His work with peanuts became legendary, and he unlocked more than 300 innovative uses for this humble legume. While he did not invent peanut butter, Carver's research into peanuts led to a multitude of new possibilities. He created products such as soap, ink, dye, shampoo, plastics, gasoline, and even synthetic rubber. Peanuts became an incredibly versatile resource, and Carver's work helped elevate the crop beyond a simple food item to a critical agricultural commodity. His innovation helped diversify Southern farming and gave farmers a profitable alternative to cotton, enabling them to become more self-sufficient and less dependent on a single crop. But Carver didn't stop with peanuts. His research into sweet potatoes was equally groundbreaking. He discovered over 100 different uses for the vegetable, many of which were revolutionary. He developed sweet potato flour, which was not only a nutritious food source but also an alternative to wheat flour, something that was especially important during times of food shortages. He also created adhesives, rubber substitutes, and even ink from sweet potatoes. Much like his work with peanuts, Carver's ability to see the potential in overlooked crops transformed the way farmers viewed their land and resources. He showed that with the right knowledge, anything could be turned into something valuable. Carver's contributions went beyond just peanuts and sweet potatoes. He also developed innovative ways to use other crops, including pecans, cowpeas, and soybeans. By finding practical applications for these crops, he helped farmers diversify their incomes and reduce their dependency on a single crop. In the case of pecans, Carver introduced new methods of harvesting and processing that allowed farmers to maximize their profits. With cowpeas, a staple in the South, he developed ways to use the beans in everything from food to animal feed, further improving the economic sustainability of farming in the region. His work with soybeans also expanded their use, offering farmers new markets and new ways to process the crop into a variety of products. But Carver's true legacy was in the way he made science accessible to farmers. While many agricultural scientists of the time were working in academic or industrial settings, Carver was deeply committed to helping poor farmers, particularly black farmers, in the South. He dedicated his life to teaching them how to use science to improve their lives and their land. His work at Tuskegee Institute, where he spent the majority of his career, was not just about research. It was about making that research practical and accessible. He understood that true change didn't come from simply publishing academic papers or working in laboratories. True change came from teaching people how to apply that knowledge in their everyday lives. Through his workshops, Carver taught farmers how to rotate crops, improve their soil, and grow new crops that would help sustain them. He also developed a series of mobile schools that traveled from farm to farm, bringing knowledge directly to the people who needed it most. Carver's vision for sustainable farming was not just about increasing crop yields, it was about improving the quality of life for the people who worked the land. He believed that farming could be a pathway to prosperity, and he worked tirelessly to prove it. Carver's innovations also caught the attention of some of the most powerful industrialists of the time. Henry Ford, the automobile magnate, was particularly fascinated by Carver's research into alternative materials. Ford was looking for ways to replace rubber, which was in short supply due to World War I, and he saw in Carver's work with plant-based materials a potential solution. Together, Carver and Ford explored the production of rubber from crops like peanuts and sweet potatoes. Carver also worked with Ford to develop new plant-based materials for plastics and gasoline. Carver's work helped to expand the use of crops in ways that had never been imagined before, turning them into valuable industrial resources. Even beyond industry, Carver's work extended into global spheres. He became an advisor to Mahatma Gandhi, the leader of India's independence movement, offering counsel on nutrition and sustainable farming practices. Carver's philosophy of using science for the greater good resonated deeply with Gandhi, who believed in the importance of self-sufficiency for India. Carver's advice on diet and crop production helped Gandhi promote better nutrition and more sustainable farming practices in India, ensuring that Carver's influence reached far beyond American shores. Throughout his career, Carver was offered lucrative positions and high-paying jobs, including one from Thomas Edison, who wanted to employ him in his laboratory. But Carver turned them all down. He chose instead to live a simple life, dedicating himself to his work and his community. He believed that science should be shared freely, and he famously refused to patent most of his discoveries, stating that his inventions were for the benefit of all mankind, not just the wealthy few. His selflessness was a hallmark of his character and helped to set him apart from many of his contemporaries. In recognition of his many achievements, Carver received numerous honors throughout his lifetime. He was awarded the Spingarn Medal from the NAACP in 1923 for his contributions to science and agriculture. He received honorary doctorates from multiple universities, though he always preferred to be called professor rather than doctor. In 1941, Time magazine named him one of the 100 most important Americans of the 20th century, a recognition that highlighted the global impact of his work. Carver's influence continued to grow even after his death in 1943, when he was posthumously honored with the creation of the George Washington Carver National Monument in Diamond, Missouri, the first national monument dedicated to an African American. This monument serves as a lasting tribute to Carver's groundbreaking achievements and his profound impact on agriculture, industry, and humanity as a whole. George Washington. Carver's achievements were not just about the discoveries he made. They were about the way he used those discoveries to uplift others, to change the world, and to prove that with determination, selflessness, and ingenuity, one person can make a difference. His legacy is one of resilience, innovation, and the unyielding belief that knowledge should be shared for the good of all. Through his work, Carver didn't just revolutionize agriculture, he changed the very fabric of American society, proving that the most profound discoveries are not always the ones that bring fame or fortune, but those that bring lasting, positive change to the lives of others.